And away we go, opening up the snatch ladder, 10 reps at 185. And everybody going with singles, which is different than we've seen all the way through this event thus far.
The time under tension, though, is a lot less when you go singles. And for these guys who can just get the bar under control, pick it right back up, they're really using this as warm-up. And there's no need to get your heart rate up that hard, that high going into the heavier load.
Earlier we were talking about the 6'2 guys that were doing well in this event. Matt Fraser's 5'7", but he's pulling it as high as the guys at 6'2" were doing. He is just pulling that bar incredibly easily. It's almost going up, like all the way up above his head when he's standing fully. I don't know how he's getting the bar that high.
This is what the kid started with when he was a kid. Before CrossFit, it was what Matt Fraser did. Olympic lifting is really what he was known for when he first came into the sport of CrossFit, and now he has just showed that he's very well-rounded athlete. But man, when you get to go back to what you're used to and what feels like home for you, he's just going to put on a show.
61 seconds for Matt Fraser on those first 10 reps, but only 62 seconds for Paul Tremblay in the white and black in lane number 4. That's on the level footing. There's 2 athletes there in white and black, the other one being Alex Vigneault. Patrick Vellner was there also, but Vellner, one of the athletes that he might be off to a quick start. His listed snatch PR is only 260. Left to right on the screen, Paul Tremblay, Patrick Vellner, Matt Fraser, Chase Smith. Vellner and Smith looking to make their first games appearance. They could do so if they can get the event win, which is also the event record, 619.08 from Trevor James.
Tremblay, far left of your screen in the white Reebok shirt. He missed going to the games last year. And Brandon, when we see that, typically it lights a fire under games athletes when they miss. They come back the next year just that much more on fire to get there again.
The former Red Bull crashed ice racer, which, if you haven't seen that stuff's pretty awesome, I'm not going to lie. He moves here into CrossFit and is one of the strongest athletes in the field no matter what competition he shows up to, so somebody to keep an eye on. But somebody that we've never taken our eye off of is Matt Fraser. He moves beyond that round of 8 onto the round of 6 at 2:25 at 2.5 minutes, and he's level with the event record pace from Trevor James just a couple of heats ago.
You know, there's one thing about beating a record pace from a different region, but there's another thing when somebody in the previous heat does that Matt has to be looking at that number and looking at that time and saying, if he wasn't already going for Rasmus Anderson, well, now I'm going for somebody else on the leaderboard in my own region.
Now there's even more reason to go for an event record, because the event record here is an event win as well. So Fraser on the right, Tremblay on the left. They continue to be 1-2.
Really, all this does here at the 225-pound bar, the pacing here determines how much time they have going to the later bars. So it's really not who's winning here, it's who's appropriately pacing what their capabilities are.
Fraser with 2 remaining. Now it's 2 remaining for Tremblay. Both with some pretty good things to celebrate in the past month as well. Tremblay, a new father. Fraser just graduated college with a double degree out of the University of Vermont last weekend. So how about that for a good 7-day span here for Fraser? And he moves on to 245. 6 total reps remain. 4 at 245, 2 at 265. And Tremblay looks over at Matt, and they almost kind of nod at each other with that little, all right, let's do it.
It's fun out there. It is, and these competitors, as much as they are competitors, they're also, in some way, it seems like kind of teammates. You're kind of playing against each other. Everybody knows what the other people's capabilities are, and it's just a matter of executing it out there.
It was almost in unison on the first rep, but Fraser staying with it with a much shorter rest in between. He takes a 1-rep lead at the 4.5-minute mark. 5:08 was the split time beyond this level for Trevor James. And that is under siege from Matt Fraser.
At this point, it looks as though Fraser's breathing a little harder than Tremblay. Paul Tremblay's beat it. He's just able to hold on. He didn't have to wait in the bottom as long. but looks can be deceiving.
Fraser clear of 2:45. He's ahead of Trevor James's pace by 3 seconds as he rolls the bar forward for 2:65. Just 2 reps remain. Tremblay with 1 left at 2:45. Vigneault is up to 2:45 as well on the top of the screen.
Over the years of watching Matt Fraser, I'm always impressed with how he looks uncomfortable and stays in that area and just is able to push through that just terrible, that pain and what you're feeling. He really is very impressive as an athlete being able to do that.
All 10 athletes in this heat are still going into that 2:25 level, but led by Matt Fraser, who's through 1 rep at 5:56.19 is the event record, and all he has to do is 1 more lift, and Matt Fraser could be on the absolute warpath here in event number 1. He stands it up, and it was an event record for Trevor James, but now it's an event record held by that man, Matt Fraser.
That was the show we were hoping for, and he gave it to us.
6:06 for Matt Fraser. And Paul Tremblay has absolutely destroyed this event, but he's only going to take, it looks like, 3rd in the event with how fast we've seen these athletes here in the East Regional.
When you look at Tremblay's composure, unfortunate there, but when you look at his composure on the bar and his pure strength, it puts into perspective just Matt Fraser's ability to pick that bar up so quickly and make that look that easy.
Here's the amazing thing as well. They have until the 8-minute mark to get past that round of 4. 9 athletes still going. Tremblay is through. He'll join Fraser at the finish line, 7 minutes and 3 seconds. Just ahead of Alex Vigneault, who snuck into the picture as well. Top of the screen, lane number 1, Albert Dominique LaRouche is working at 2:60.